episode 6 of Brave Spaces Yoga Japan series. Thanks for coming back to class today. For many, including myself, this is the first time I'm practicing after the new year. So if you're feeling stiff, if you're like, I didn't do anything over my holiday vacation, no worries. We are all in the same very stiff boat. So we're going to focus today on kind of removing some of those blockages in our bodies, really focusing on the central nervous system with some back bends, opening up the hips as well and the hip flexors. So all around, it's a pretty good practice. The only props you need are 2 blocks. So yeah, let's get started. And we're just gonna take a comfortable seat. I have my right leg in front of my left. And I'm going to take a really tall body. So I'm gonna lift up through my rib cage, tall spine. And first just take a couple of breaths. Eyes could be open or closed, whatever is comfortable for you. Allowing the shoulders to just relax down the back. A gentle smile could play at your lips. And we'll take left hand to right kneecap. Right hand will come behind the back. And we'll take a gentle stretch over to the right. Long spines. Trying to be good to our bodies this first practice back from break. And come back to center. Left fingertips can trail out to the left. Right arm comes up overhead, side bend. Maybe look up from underneath your right elbow. Try and plant the right tailbone down into the ground. Inhale, lift back up. And then exhale, plant the hands behind your back. Inhale, lift the hips forward and up. Try and extend chest to the ceiling. Maybe you will let the head come all the way back if that feels okay. And then on an exhale, release the hips back down to the mat. Other side. Right hand to left kneecap, left hand behind the back, gentle twist. Remember, long spine. On an exhale, come back to center. Walk the right fingertips out. Lift the left arm overhead. And stretch. Inhale, back up. This time, place the left shin in front of the right. Hands come behind the back. Inhale, lift the hips up. And then exhale, release back down. Bring the hands back to the knees, and we're going to do like a seated cat-cow. So we'll start by extending the chest forward. And then exhale, bringing navel to spine, rounding. Inhale, press forward. And exhale, contract. Inhale, forward. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, press the chest forward. And then exhale, release into the contraction. And if you're not already facing the front of your mat, come back to center. Turn, face front of the mat, cross the legs, roll over from all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And because it's that first downward facing dog of the class, everybody put a deep bend in the knees. And while normally we try and keep our head and shoulders all in one plane, I want you to actually allow yourself to dip the chest down to the mat as if you could bring your forehead to the mat, and some of you may be able to, which is great. But let me tell you, right now, my body is just getting back from break. Whew. And things feel a little tight. All good though. Slowly bring the chest back in line with the shoulders and elbows. Maybe straighten the legs a little bit. And then inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk or step there to the forward fold. And let's just take a moment here in this forward fold, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, allowing the head to just shake back and forth. Release the elbows. Inhale, plant the hands on the shins, extend the crown of the head forward. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, bend in the knees. Reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Maybe hands press at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's start moving. Some gentle stretching. A nice sun salutation to get us started. Inhale, the arms are going to sweep out to the side, lifting up. Hands may press. Exhale, ride the breath all the way down into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back, extend crown of the head forward, tailbone presses back. Exhale, release the chest, hands plant, left foot steps all the way back, drop the back knee. Inhale, taking the hands into Kali Mudra or a steeple grip, you're going to extend them up overhead. And then from here, I want you to think about contracting the knees together, lifting up through the navel, and then back, kind of like you're a pole vaulter. So you have to go up to go over the pole. Just intended here to open up the hip flexor, but also some of that mid-back, lower back. And then exhale, plant the hands either side of the front foot, tuck the toes, lift the back knee, and step back to plank. Inhale, and then exhale. You can always drop to your knees or come through your chaturanga, down to your belly, untuck the toes. Inhale, curl up. We're going to start with this cobra. Just warming up nice and slow. Try and keep those elbows tucked tight. Exhale, release the chest back down to the mat. Inhale, tuck the toes, press up. And then exhale back to a downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Maybe you still want to walk out those feet. You're feeling really tight in the hamstrings and calves. Make it feel good. Make it feel right for your body. Inhale. Right leg is going to come up. We're going to open the hip. And just allow the knee to press up and over. So the hip flexor is getting a really nice stretch. Hip flexor mobility is super important for our back bends, so we'll focus on that as well as all the stuff that we're going to do for the back and shoulder blades. Inhale, straighten leg, square off the hips, and then on an exhale, step the right leg through, and then plant the back knee. Inhale, lift up. This time, we're going to bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and then drop the knuckles down the mat. Lift the chest up. And then exhale, release the hands either side of the front foot. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Inhale, step together, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, swan dive up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Very nice. Let's do all of that on the other side. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, melt the heart down into the forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, step the right leg all the way back, low lunge, drop the back knee. Inhale, Kali Mudra. Extend the hands overhead in your steeple grip. Try and lift up to go back. Bringing those knees together just as much as we're kind of trying to like sink. Exhale, release the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift the hips and step back to our plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, either cobra, or if you feel ready, you can come into the upward facing dog. Really trying to pull the shoulder blades down and away. Nice long space between the ears, tops of the shoulders. Inhale and exhale, press back to a downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back, and this time bend the knee and open the hip. I'm not gonna say too much about the shoulders. If you wanna open it up a little bit, if that feels good, that's okay. Sometimes it's good to keep them squared off so the twist is really just focused in the hip. I'm just gonna say, do what feels good for your body today. There'll be some classes where you want the shoulder blades closed off. Sometimes it's okay to open it. Inhale, stretch the left leg and square off the hips. Exhale, step the left foot through, drop the back knee. Inhale, lift up, interlace the fingers, and then exhale, sink back. Lifting through the chest, trying to squeeze the palms together. And then exhale, release the hands back down. Tuck the toes. Inhale, step together, press the crown of the head forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Inhale, lift the arms up. This time, as we're going into our Sun B, let's sit back down into our chair pose. So weight is going to come back, so much so we might be able to wave our toes off the mat. Trying to connect navel to spine, tailbone is long. One more breath, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, step the left foot back, and rise up into a high crescent lunge. You can interlace those fingers again into steeple, pressing up. And then with your tailbone, if it's pushing back, as mine is right now, I want you to put a bend into your back leg so that you can scoop the tailbone. And then maybe begin straightening the back leg. And that will help you extend the stretch that's going on in your front psoas. Nice long breaths. And then exhale the hands, opposite sides of the right foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, Vinyasa flow, coming through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, open the hip. Inhale, square off the hips. Exhale, step the right leg through and plant the back heel. A little different here. We're going to rise up to a warrior one. So maybe take a moment to make sure that you've got heel to arch alignment. You're bending into that right knee, not no further than a right angle, but maybe it's slightly behind. Arms can be up overhead. And trying to, instead of just popping out that chest, trying to connect the navel to spine. From here, we're going to release the hands behind the back and clasp the hands. Inhale, lift the chest. And then on an exhale, bring the chest to the inside of the right knee. It's okay if it doesn't get really far down in there. We're just getting back into the thick of things, so cut yourself some slack. Inhale, lift the chest. So now you're slightly above your right kneecap. You're going to square the hips off. Left heel is going to come off the mat. From here, look about a foot or so in front. We're going to step together into our chair pose. So left comes to meet right, hips sink down, chest is still nice and proud. Inhale, release the clasp. Inhale, up to a full chair. Exhale, release, forward fold. Good work. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Step the right foot all the way back. Moving on to the other side, we're going to inhale, lifting up through our crescent lunge. Again, steeple grip is an option. If your tailbone is back, bend into that right knee, tuck the tailbone, and then begin to straighten. Trying to lift through navel and chest, lifting the ribcage up and then back. And then on a big exhale, plant the hands either side of the front foot, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left foot up and back. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg, square off the hips. Exhale, step the leg through and plant. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Trying to really connect all four corners of both feet to the mat so you're nice and firm. Exhale the hands behind the back. Inhale to broaden the chest. Gaze comes up. Exhale, melt the heart forward to the inside of the left knee. If you can't clasp the hands, you can always grab a strap or even just keep them like an eagle arms. Grab opposite elbows or not even go for a bind at all. Whatever works for your body. Inhale, lift the chest up. Square off the hips. This time the right ankle is coming up. Look about a foot or so ahead of where you want to go. And then step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, proud chest. Release the arms up overhead. And then exhale, melt. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Step the left foot back. We're going to go through that sequence one more time on each side before we switch it up again. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, steeple grip. And then exhale, hands back down. Step back to plank and chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Open the hip. Inhale, straighten the leg, square off the hip. Exhale, step the leg through. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, clasp the hands. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, bow inside of the right knee. Inhale, lift up, square off. And then on your next inhale, step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, melt. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Step the right leg all the way back. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left hip up and open. Inhale, extend the leg, square out the hip. Exhale, sweep it through and plant. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale and lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, square off the hips. Look where you want to go. Inhale, step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale and release. Inhale, flat back. We're going to switch things up this time, so stay with me. Forward fold. Step the left foot back. Inhale, rise up to high crescent lunge. And then exhale, open warrior two. We'll take a quick break here to just rest, relax. I don't know if you consider warrior two a relaxing posture, but it's where we're going to wait to catch our breath. Try and relax the shoulders. Broaden through the chest. Lengthen fingertip to fingertip. Inhale, reverse warrior. Bring the right arm overhead. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands. Going through your vinyasa flow. And then exhaling back to a downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee. And then this time, you can stay just as you are, or if you'd like, you can drop the right foot back, coming to the side of your left foot. And then from here, press into the ball of your right foot to extend the hips up and the chest back into wild thing. Couple breaths here. And then exhale, bring the right hand back down to the mat. Press back into your three-legged dog. Square off the hips. And then exhale, step the right leg through. Plant. So you come back up into a warrior one. Exhale the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. This should be familiar. Exhale, melt the heart inside the right knee. Inhale, lift the chest up. Square off the hips. Big inhale, steps the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, step the right foot all the way back. We're almost there, guys. Last time through the sequence. Inhale, lifting up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, steep roll grip, almost forgot. Exhale, warrior two. And here we are, just catching our breath, taking note of what feels activated, what's shifting, what's moving along the way. Next inhale, reverse the left palm, lift up overhead, reverse warrior. Inhale, brings you back up. And then exhale, cartwheel through your vinyasa flow. Going through the chaturanga, the upward facing dog, and the downward facing dog. This time the left foot, inhale, rises up, open the hip. Option to flip your dog, bringing the left ball of the left foot down, extending the hips up into wild thing. And then bringing the left hand back to the mat, twisting through to lift the left leg back up. Exhale, sweep the left foot through. Plant. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands interlaced behind the back. Inhale, chest broadens up. Exhale, bow forward, humble warrior. Inhale, bring the chest up a little bit. Exhale, rotate through the back heel so you're squaring off. Inhale, step the right foot to meet the left. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then exhale, release. Nice, nice work. Heel to those feet out to maybe just broader than hip distance. Peace fingers come around the big toes. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale, bend through the elbows. Trying to get nice and heavy to the top of the head. Letting all that work go. We got a little bit more work to do, but that was our warm-up. We can handle whatever comes next. Release the big toes. And then heel toe the feet back together. We're going to sink back down into our chair pose. I know, stay with me. From here, right arm is going to come underneath left to find eagle arms. So we're going to try and press those palms together. Once I have the clasp in my arms, I want to lift the elbows. Try and press this clasp away from my face. My left leg is going to come up and over. And I'm going to try and find eagle legs. So maybe my left toes come down to the mat as like a kickstand. Or if I can keep a nice deep bend in my hips and knees, I can maybe wiggle those toes around my right calf. And if you fall out of it like I just did, no biggie. Just get right back into it. Inhale, lift up, and plant that left foot back down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, still in chair, stay with me. And then exhale this time. What did we do? We definitely did right under left. So this time right is going over left. Press the hips, not the hips, the elbows up and away. Lift the right leg, cross it over. Lady sitting in a chair. Try and wrap those toes around the calf. Nice and steady. Can you sit a little taller as you sink deeper? Slowly unwind the legs. Plant the right foot back down. Inhale, lift arms up one more time. Victory. And then exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, let it go. Step back to a downward facing dog or flow through your vinyasa if that feels good. Take a moment here. We're rounding the corner in our practice. See what feels different from when you started class. Inhale, look to the front. And then exhale, you're going to step the right foot through in between both hands and just drop the back knee. This is where you might want to grab your blocks. In fact, everybody do it, even if you're like, nah, I need blocks. And we'll go to the highest setting, so it's extra luxurious. I'm going to come up, walk my right foot a little bit forward, and my blocks are at about where my hips are. So from here, I'm going to hold on to my block. I'm going to stretch forward and then allow my chest to open as I'm pushing into my blocks. And just everybody start on the highest setting of your blocks to assess. Just make sure it feels good. And if you really feel like you need something else, you can either walk the blocks further back or put them on a lower setting. And that'll definitely deepen the stretch. But we're going for a stretch in our back as well as through the hip flexors and quad. Head can be slightly up, it could be all the way back. It's really just what feels good. And then slowly make your way back up. From here, walk the blocks forward and then sink the hips back, flex the front foot. So you're coming into a runner's lunge, half split. Trying to pull the right hip back, flexing the right toes back towards your face. And then slowly come forward. You can place those blocks off the side of your mat. Step back. And actually, I'm just going to keep my knees on the mat from here. I'm going to slowly lower to my belly. I'm going to allow my knees to go just wider than my hips. I'm going to bend both legs back until the arches touch. And then from here, I'm going to press into my arms, lift myself up so I'm in a king pigeon. So from here, I want to extend the crown of my head back. I'm going to squeeze my hamstrings to bring my feet closer to my head. Not really caring, because I know they're not going to touch. They haven't touched since I was like, I don't know, 16. So it is what it is. But just feeling a really nice stretch through my chest and back. And then exhaling, releasing it all back down. Legs come back in, hips distance apart, tuck the back toes, and then press on back to your downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. And then allow the left foot to step forward. We'll repeat all of that on the other side. Grabbing my blocks again. Walking on towards my hips. Allow my pelvis to come forward. I'm going to allow myself to sink this time. Really lifting the chest up, extending back. Maybe playing with my blocks, find a different height or a different position. Maybe that's further back. And then slowly coming out of it. Walking the blocks forward. Allowing the hips to pull back. Left toes flex. That's it. Pulling back on the hamstring. Man, just between those two oppositional forces, you can really feel where you're tight along different median lines in your body. And then slowly come forward, plant the left foot, move those blocks out of the way. And then we'll just step the left foot back. Come down to the belly, and we'll try that king pigeon one more time. So knees will go just outside of the hips. Bend the legs, feet will touch. Press yourself up. Trying to kick those toes towards the head. And come back down. Nice. And then from here, let's just press back into a child's pose for a moment. So toes will connect, knees can go wide. Just allow the head to come down to the mat. Extend arms forward or even back, whatever feels good. Taking a moment to appreciate your body for what it can do today. Good. And then walk the hands in. Knees together, roll to one side. We're going to make our way to our backs. And now, your choice. If you're feeling like you've gotten in all the back bends that you possibly want to today, feel free to take a nice restorative bridge right now. If that's you, you're going to take your block. You can take it either on the lowest setting. I like it on the medium. And you can put it right underneath, like your hips. Basically, like where your mom probably always wanted you to wear your belt, but you never wanted to because it was like a little too high, a little too weird. So yeah, you can put it right there. And this is really nice. This is a nice supportive bridge. It feels awesome. Good place to be. If you're looking for a little bit more pizzazz, we're going to take it up to Urdhva, or a wheel pose. So, of course, there is also the option of just doing a regular bridge. Do what feels good to you, right? If you already know bridge, you're basically going to be in this position, right? But it's going to be you pressing yourself up as opposed to the block supporting you. If you're coming on this journey to wheel with me, no block, feet are going to be about hips distance apart, in line with the hips. Fingertips might just dust the back of the ankles. We're going to bring the wrists and the hands just behind the shoulders. Fingers are pointing down towards the front of my mat. I'm going to slowly lift my tailbone up, working through my spine, and then I might lift just up enough so that the crown of my head comes onto the mat. Squeeze the elbows together. You might stop here, or lift, extending the arms, and then taking a couple breaths at the top, trying to allow that head just to relax and soften. Maybe the chest presses forward, and then slowly come back down, releasing the head, the back, tailbone. Knees can come together. And just planting the hands for a moment on the belly, just relaxing. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Yeah, I know. Before we lose our gumption, let's try that again. Recommit the feet. Double check your placement, and then replace the hands back at the shoulders. Lift through the tailbone, the spine. Maybe you go to the crown of the head, maybe you go immediately all the way up. Lifting when you get to the top, try and take 3 breaths. Maybe you walk your feet in. Try to keep the knees in line with the hips. If you walked them in, walk them out before coming back down and taking your rest. Knees in. Feeling how your energy and you can feel like the blood just like course through your whole body after doing a big back bend like that. And how much energy you're suddenly flooded with. But we try and do it 3 times because the first time is always a little awkward. Second time, we're still kind of like working out the kinks. And then hopefully by the 3rd time, we feel a little bit more fluid in our body. Like we really can experience the pose as opposed to stressing about how it feels. So, when you're ready, double check that you like the way your setup is. Recommit the hands. Try and keep those elbows in. Inhale, lifting up. Maybe walking the feet in. walk the feet out if you did walk them in, and then slowly coming down. And this time for sure, walk the feet to the width of the mat, then allow the knees to come in. Release all that work in the lower back. Nice, nice, nice work, guys. I know that's not easy after doing a really fiery flow like we did. You're pretty tired by the time you get to this point. But it took all of that, that energy and exertion to be able to do the wheel as we practiced it. So, good work. Bring the knees to chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. And let's take a twist. So let's start by scooching the hips over to the right and then allowing the hips come down to the left. Extend the right arm out to the side like a T and take your gaze over to your right fingertips. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Scooch the hips over to the left. My left arm is going to come out and allow the knees to come over to the right. Block is in the way. And keep my gaze over at my left fingertips. Knees come back up. Let's do one happy baby. So we can grab inside or outside the legs. Try and pull the knees into the armpits, stacking ankles over knees. And as best as you can, try to keep the spine nice and long so the tailbone is not coming up off of the mat. And you wiggle back and forth. From here, a couple options. I want to get in at least one forward fold into the practice. So you could sit up into your staff pose and just do a traditional forward fold over the legs. I am going to walk you through shoulder stand and plow if that's in your practice. But if it's not, feel free to take another inversion of your choice. Or, as I said, a staff into Paschimottanasana. Now, and just extending the chest over your legs. If you are going into shoulder stand, you're going to plant the arms at your side. And let's start with our legs long out on the mat so we have a little bit of momentum to help us with this. We're going to sort of swing the legs up towards the ceiling. My hands are going to come and support my lower back. From here, I want to walk my elbows in if they're not already in there. And then I'm going to keep engaging, so I'm straightening the legs up overhead. I want to keep the spine and my neck nice and long so I can breathe very easily. You can stay here in this inversion if that feels good, or if you want, really the forward fold that I'm looking for is through plow. So I'm going to bring those legs and feet slowly overhead. If your feet make contact with the mat or floor, you can release your hands from your lower back. If they don't, please keep your hands there to help support you. Otherwise, you can kind of press through the feet, massage out the lower neck. Try to keep it long so you're breathing easy. There's no constriction. Maybe you bend the knees few more breaths. To come out of it, I like to use my hands as brakes, so I'll keep them on the mat, and I will slowly unwind one vertebrae at a time. Lifting the legs up overhead, and then allowing them to descend all the way back down to the mat. And then let's just take a fish pose. So I'm going to take my hands, place them underneath my tush, and then pushing into my elbows. I'm going to lift up, walk the elbows just a little bit further underneath me, puff up the chest, release the head until the top of my head finds the mat. Just a gentle back bend after our forward fold. And slowly release. Walk the hands out from underneath you. Let's do one more side stretch before we go into our Shavasana because we got the time. So we'll take both legs over to the right corner of the mat. I'm going to cross my left ankle over the right. And I'm going to take my hands over to the top right corner of my mat. So I'm making sort of a half moon or a banana shape, as the pose is called. Maybe you close your eyes. Slowly release, walking the feet over to the lower left pocket of your mat. There goes my block. Right ankle comes over left. Then my right hand and my left. I'm going to come over to the left side top pocket of my mat. Crescent shape, nice and soft through the side body. And then slowly come back to center. Release those arms at your side. The legs be long and floppy. And finding Shavasana, your final resting pose. We're going to do a full 5-minute Shavasana today. I'll let you know at the end of class when it's time to begin moving again. So just enjoy these next few moments, next 5 minutes just for you. begin to come back into the space just by pointing and flexing the balls of your feet. And maybe making that motion a little bit bigger, bringing it to your ankles. Pointing and flexing to your wrists. Maybe circling out one direction and then the other. Extend the arms up overhead, nice and long, getting that last big stretch in. And then as if the sigh is what's taking you over to the side, curl yourself into a fetal position, right or left, whichever feels good to you. And then slowly, using the strength of your bottom arm, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, eyes closed, hands at your knees, tall spine. Taking the last few moments of gratitude for yourself, for carving out this time after the new year. I wish you a really, really terrific, wonderful year ahead of you. Whatever challenges faced you in the past, whatever may come, may you know that you have the strength to see them all through. You got this. Have a wonderful 2020. I will see you in future episodes. Bringing those hands together. Namaste.